Welcome to my channel Living Linux. In an earlier video I tested Vulkan 1.2 and I explained that I built Mesa from source, and then someone mentioned that there is a PPA for bleeding edge Mesa. And also that there was also the announcement that we have Vulkan 1.4 support. So they do mention that it's not formally conformant, and I think, yeah, they also say they have a lot more extensions to enable. So yeah, they're still hard at work, but they're also making a lot of progress, so that's a good thing. Now, coming back to that PPA, so you can choose between Mesa unstable and Mesa almost stable. So I went with almost stable because I wanted to have Mesa 25.2. So the installation is actually quite simple. Add the repository, do the apt-update, and probably also do the apt-upgrade. And then, yeah, perhaps you still need to install the Vulkan driver, but from there you should be good to go. So let's start with the good news. I built 0AD with Vulkan, and that seems to be working. There's just one thing that I think in the instructions somewhere they mentioned that you, I think that's there, yeah, need to run this script. Yeah, in this directory, run this script to get the Vulkan shaders. And other than that, then you can just follow the instructions to build it. Now, to be really honest, I didn't really see much difference in the quality and the rendering and the speed, but yeah, let's just start the game. So let's see. So currently we're running with OpenGL. So let's start the tutorial. So yeah, I think this game is a bit heavy for the Rockchip RK3588, but I think it's still playable if you really want to. So when there's not that much happening, it's 16 frames per second at the moment. I did lower some of the settings. So let's see if we quit. Now we just change the settings to Vulkan. I'm not really sure if it's really changing real time, so just to be sure, I just quit the game. And yeah, it says that you can find the system info in one of the logs. So if we look at that, then you can see here GL, so that's probably OpenGL. So I just changed it to Vulkan. So you can see it's still Vulkan. Now we start the tutorial again. So I have the feeling actually that the scrolling is a bit smoother with OpenGL. So, and sometimes it reports relatively high frames per second, but I don't think that that actually is true. But yeah, the good thing is that you can start it with Vulkan. And then hopefully when they keep developing the Vulkan driver, that this will also improve. So if we look at the system info now, you can see the Vulkan extensions. So yeah, from there, I think you can really see that we were really running with Vulkan. Now, yeah, going to the, yeah, first we'll just go with Llama.cpp, built with Vulkan. Yeah, I still can only run it with small large language models. So let's see, do I still have that somewhere in the history? Yeah. So yeah, so we take a very small model, 135 million parameters. And also show the system monitor to see if we have a lot of CPU load. So let's do something like, why is the sky blue? So then the system freezes for a couple of seconds, and you also see a lot of CPU load. But now that it is giving the answer, that there is a relatively low CPU load. So that's also an indication that we're probably using at least mainly the GPU and not so much the CPU. So yeah, the good part is that it's working, but only with very small language models. And yeah, once this is finished, then I can show you what happens if I try it with a larger model, like 3 times larger, which is 360 million parameters, which is still very, very small for a large language model. So yeah, and then we'll stop this one. Okay, so yeah, I think if 360 million, it does start. And if we ask it the same question, then in the end it will crash. So yeah, it's the error says device lost. I do see something with Llama memory context. So yeah, perhaps there is an issue with memory allocation. I don't know. But yeah, if you use like a very, very small model, then it is possible to run it on the GPU, or at least mainly on the GPU. Now, one other thing that I would like to show you, that is PlayStation 2 emulation. Oh, yeah. I did try to run Dogwalk, which is for x86 with Box64. Well, at least you can see that it does load the Vulkan driver, but yeah, it runs into an unimplemented opcode. So I think it hit a certain instruction that is not yet emulated with Box64. So yeah, perhaps that is something for the future. I will also try it at some point in time with fax, see if that works better. So yeah, going to PlayStation 2 emulation. I also tried PlayStation 3 emulation, but that really was a bad experience at the moment. So I'm not really sure if that's because of my Armbian image, which I built from the Edge branch, or that there's an issue with the Vulkan driver. Well, there is an issue with the Vulkan driver that I'm going to show you. So let's try Final Fantasy X first. So yeah, first I'll do this one. So this text effect, if you missing some perhaps instructions or performance, then that really can kill your performance, but here that is all fine. So the other thing is the dummy attack. So at 2x resolution, that is working fine. Now let's get to the issue. So yeah, if you get triggered by a flashing screen, then it's probably better to skip to the next chapter. Because as I said, there is an issue with this Vulkan driver. So if we go to the next screen, then there's some sort of like water ripple effect, or at least it should show something like a water ripple effect in the screen, but it's completely messed up. Oh, but this time it is showing it correctly. Now that's interesting. The last couple of times that I tried this, it was showing some really weird effects. So, I don't know. So just to be sure. Now perhaps there's a difference if I run it from the command line. So let's see. Let's try that again. So let's load it. No, well, I don't know why it's all of a sudden started working. So, but yeah, it's a bit surprising. Usually it's the other way around, that I try to show something and then it crashes or whatever. But this time it actually started working correctly. So yeah, I'm really a bit surprised about that. So, well, if it's really starting to then let's see what this does. So let's see, we have Vulkan. Okay, let's try this one. So no, RP3 doesn't want to play along. Well, just to show you one of the weird things that sometimes do happen is, let's see. Yeah, so I did mess up my Steam installation, but I tried to play Half-Life 2, and in earlier videos that was playing correctly. So in the background we actually have the screen of the game itself. So yeah, that wasn't really looking that good. And then you can also imagine when Final Fantasy renders similar to this. But like I said, I messed up my Steam installation, so I'm not going to try that again. Yeah, perhaps there's some weird bug in the Vulkan driver that only triggers under certain circumstances. But we'll see what happens with new releases of the Vulkan driver. So at least the good part is that you can play 0AD now with Vulkan. Previously that didn't work for me, I think with the Vulkan 1.2 driver. So yeah, we're making progress, and hopefully that some of the weird bugs that they are able to fix that. So this is all for now, and I hope to see you again in my next video.